This is a Dude Studios production. And hey, I'm the dude.
Hey bartender, pass me a drink. A reason that I'm here is I need time to think.
Welcome back to Hey Bartender Podcast. This is the Wednesday Quick Shot episode. Yes, sir, we are just going to take a quick drink and we are getting out of here. And, you know, so many people have said that, but they've ended up staying all night long. It's boggling to think about that. Has a customer ever come into your bar and stated, I am only having one drink, and they end up staying all night and taking a cab home? It happens all the time, I'm sure. But this is Wednesday, April the 7th. I hope all of you have logged on to the Diageo Bar Academy and clicked on that banner for the World Bartending Championship and saw everything. I'm recording this show before that actually all airs, but we'll be talking about it a little bit later. I've seen some incredible things and just mind-boggling things that I never thought about as being a bartender. There's a reason why those people are the top 50. And from me working in a little hole-in-the-wall bar to them wherever they're allowed to work, unfortunately, I didn't get too much information on those people. I was just sitting there watching all the action. But yesterday, when I post this thing, it'll be yesterday. It's like I'm posting from the past and the future. It's wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey thing. But by the time I post this, it'll be the day after they announce the world champion of Bartender of 2021. I hope you guys have caught it. Remember, it's all on demand. Just go to DiageoBarAcademy.com, click on the World Championship Bartender Competition banner, and you can watch everything that happened. It's really amazing and really exciting, and it has a lot of really cool, informative stuff for people that are looking to improve their business or improve their style as a bartender. It's incredible. But since we're talking about the Diageo Bar Academy, today's drink, we're going to talk about today's drink special. I got onto their website and looked up their recipes, and they have this really nifty thing on there where you can look up either a specific season, specific liquor, a specific whatever. Like, there's a bunch of different headings on there, and look up a drink that could possibly go with whatever your mood, your season, or whatever your favorite or your customer's favorite liquor might be. So I decided to look up something for Captain Morgan's Parrot Bay. Now, here's what Diageo Bar Academy says about that. Tantalize your taste buds. An exciting blend of Captain Morgan's Parrot Bay coconut, flavored with stirrings, espresso liqueur, pineapple juice, and cola. Served on the rocks, it's an iced coffee island style. What you're going to need to make this drink is 1 ounce of Captain Morgan's Parrot Bay coconut, 1 ounce of Stirring's espresso flavored liqueur, sorry about that, 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice, and 2 ounces of cola. Now, how you make this? Combine the first 3 ingredients in a shaker with ice. Shake the shit out of it. Strain into an ice-filled Collins glass. Top with cola. Garnish with a lime wedge. So I want to know what you guys think about these drinks. As you guys probably have heard me say a dozen times, I'm not much of a drinker. I have Asian genes in me, and whenever I get alcohol in my system, I turn as red as a Budweiser sign. And so I tend to avoid alcohol just because every once in a while I get a friend that thinks I'm sick, or a friend that thinks I'm going to anaphylactic shock. That friend was a doctor, by the way. And so it's kind of embarrassing for me to drink. And plus, I'm really bad at it. 1 Coors Light and I'm flying. So I want to know what you guys think about these drinks that I keep telling you about. Email me, dude, at heybartenderpodcast.com, and tell me what you think about these drinks. In fact, if you have any questions, if you have any stories, if you have anything interesting to say, I'll leave the table wide open at this point. Email me, dude, at heybartenderpodcast.com. I'd love to hear from you guys. Today I got somewhat of an interesting subject to go for you guys. Back when I used to bartend, this is back in 1999, That's when I first started bartending. I just got out of bartending school. And when I graduated bartending school, my teacher, Sandy Kennedy, she was a veteran, longtime veteran of being behind the bar and serving. And she taught me everything I know about pouring. Unfortunately, she didn't get into too much about customer service because she felt it was too difficult to teach customer service when there's actually no customers around. And this was 22 years ago, so I'm sure a lot of schools out there have really upped their game when it comes to customer service. In fact, one of my guests from the famous bartending school in New Jersey, I've watched some of his videos on Instagram, and he actually has people on their time test. They have the people ordering their drinks and then screaming like, "Come on, hurry up, faster, faster! I want that drink now. What are you doing?" And you put the kids under a little bit more pressure. And unfortunately, it's a good thing to learn because not all customers are saints. Let's just all admit that. But as I was graduating, Sandy Kennedy, she started talking about creating your own recipes. I mean, she gave us maybe about 50 recipes to start off with. And the funny thing about that was, she goes, out of the 50, when you first start behind your bar, you might remember maybe 10. And which she was right. I kept a recipe book behind the bar with me from when I started off as a banquet bartender all the way up to working at the subsequent bars, the 3 subsequent bars that I ended up working for. Because it was in the early 2000s, our cell phones didn't have internet readily available. And if they did have internet readily available, it was insanely expensive to maintain. Some of you are allowed to keep your cell phones behind the bar, probably not allowed to answer it or get too wrapped up in a text message war. But you have your cell phone available, and that's when you get on the internet to try to find the newest, coolest recipes so you can use it as a drink special that night. Or if a customer challenges you and says, "Give me something that makes me think of Doctor Who," and you have to think of some kind of drink that's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, bigger on the inside than the outside. Yeah, I've watched a lot of Doctor Who in the last couple days. Sorry. But sometimes Sandy suggested to us, if we have the opportunity to behind the bar to, start trying to design your own drink and make your own mark. I mean, because I don't know if the guy's name was actually Harvey Wallbanger, but there's a drink out there called Harvey Wallbanger. And all these drinks get made somehow, somewhere. And it takes a little bit of practice with it. It takes a couple taste testers. But that was 20 years ago. Nowadays, it might be a little bit different. Creating recipes at the bar nowadays is probably close to impossible because a lot of restaurants, bars out there are really, really, really concerned about their liquor costs. There is one girl that I follow on Instagram. TikTok. I've tried to get her on the show a few times. I'm still trying to coerce her into being on the show. But she shows every morning, she shows what her routine is in the morning for opening up the bar. And there's this one part that fascinates me, is where she has to weigh the bottles to find out how much liquor is left in every bottle every morning. Now, what that tells me is that she's her manager is trying to keep track of pour costs. Are they pouring actual shots? Are they pouring doubles? Are they pouring too little? Are they pouring too much? And then, just so that they can keep the liquor costs down. It's a business thing. In fact, when I was banquet bartender, at the end of every shift that I did, they would go through the bottles and try to eyeball it, on how much liquor was left in the bottle after I was done serving. They eyeballed it. They didn't measure the weight. They didn't do anything like that. And there were a couple times where they said, "You overpoured a little bit. You owe us $5 or $10. And then I have to sit back and try to figure out, where did I lose that? because I was fresh out of bartending school. I knew how to count to 4. I mean, when you're a banquet bartender, mostly all you're going to do is just a liquor and a mixer. You get the occasional Long Island iced tea, but it's mostly just a liquor and a mixer and beer. But there were days where they did say, okay, the liquor left doesn't match the sales, so you actually came up higher than what the liquor is left in the bottles. So here's what's left. It was like $4, but I was like, well, okay, and that was pretty much how it was done. Now eyeballing it, I didn't think it was really fair because how can you eyeball how much liquor is left in a bottle, especially at a place, it's out of business, I can say this now, where they illegally refilled the bottles with, they had the half gallons in one cupboard, and then they had the actual bottles that I used behind the bar in another cupboard, and then they would just top it off. And I'm sitting there going, that's kind of illegal, isn't it? And they said, no, not in this case, and then ignored me for the rest of the day. The place is already out of business. I can talk shit about them all I want, but I'm not going to mention the name. But I standing behind the bar at a banquet, doesn't leave you a whole lot of time to be creative. And so when I moved over to an actual bar, I started, thinking, what would be interesting? What can I do to be creative? And so I started, playing with the liquor. I was just thinking, okay, well, the big one that I actually did make myself, that I didn't steal from somebody else. I stole a drink once from somebody else and called it my own, and I got caught, and he didn't beat me up or anything like that. But although I was afraid he was going to, but I made this like chocolate milkshake, and it had vodka, dark cream cacao, and like we had a milkshake machine, so I could run it through that, and so a little bit of chocolate syrup, and I think I put Kahlua or maybe Bailey's in it too. It's been too long, but I made it look really cool. Had the chocolate syrup dripping on the inside of the glass, whipped cream topped with a cherry, and I was pretty proud of myself because the first night that I made it, I made it in a blender and I poured it in a bunch of small rocks glasses and served it to my customers and asked them, hey, what do you think of this? And, and basically small portions to everybody, which is, to me, is a sample. Technically, we're not supposed to do samples without charging people because we are using the liquor, but I ended up paying for it. So they tried it and went, wow, this is really good. And so a little bit later, they started asking for the large version of it. And so I was sitting there really proud of myself. And because I made it look really cool, almost if I had the proper glassware, I could have made it look like the old timey malt shop type of thing. But we only had pounders, and I wasn't going to use the tornado glasses because those fuckers broke really easy. But the whole point of it was to make it look cool, and then when I brought it to a table, I held it high, or at least at a level where everybody could see it, so they could, be curious about it, and then I would sell it that way. And that was the only time where I felt like I could be really creative. I didn't really try all that much later to try to create another drink because part of me was like, I don't drink, so how do you create a drink without knowing what it tastes like? But other bartenders who I've talked to in the past have also told me that the best way to try out a new drink is to let a customer try it. Just say, hey, this is a new drink, who wants it? And make sure that they know it's going to get added to their tab, or you buy it yourself. It could be, in most cases, a lot of bartenders, they have money that they've set aside so that they can comp something. So if you have comp money, that's probably the best way you can do it. But not all bars have comp money. Not all bars want you to be creative. They have a set menu, at least compared from when I used to bartend to now. And it's a set menu. They have the exact drinks that they sell, and they have the price for it. And you can't really go anywhere from that. It's, this is the drinks we sell. You pour these drinks. And I wonder if every once in a while they turn around and look at the bottles and sit back and say, but we don't use that bottle. We don't use that bottle. We don't use that bottle. But the bottles are there. It probably in case a customer does come in and ask for a Harvey Wallbanger. But the creativity in my feeling, and I've gone to talk to other bartenders around town and outside of town, I don't really feel like that there's an opportunity for being creative nowadays unless you are like the Tipsy Bartender. The Tipsy Bartender is a YouTube channel where this guy shows you how to make these incredible like fishbowl drinks or tropical drinks. Well, it's not just tropical, but this guy has a great personality. He's fun to watch, and he teaches how he makes a lot of these like almost party drinks. But and also there's a lot of people on TikTok that show you how to make a quick drink every now and then. But that entails you to buy your own liquor. And a liquor can be expensive, especially if you're looking for something to make with the new improved liquor that's out there. Like you specifically want to use one of the more expensive vodkas. I mean, pretty much I don't know, Kettle One or or I don't know, 3 Olive vodka or something like that. If you want to use specifically that, if you want to design a drink around that particular liqueur or liquor, you have to do it on your own. You have to go home, buy the bottles, and then do the test runs yourself. And it's that you can't write that off, really. And it's all because most bars managers are paying attention to their liquor costs, paying attention to their profits. Totally understandable. Because if you're just out there wasting liquor and go, ooh, the customer, you say, hey, give this a try. And the customer goes, dear God, this tastes like something that came out of the south end of a northbound kangaroo. What are you going to do with it? You got to throw it away. And that's that money either comes out of your pocket or your boss's pocket. When actuality, it's probably coming out of your pocket either way. But they do check liquors. They do check the broken bottles. They do check a lot of that stuff nowadays. I mean, even in my last year of bartending, I think it was like 2007 or something like that. My boss started, doing breakage. And because every time a bottle ran out, instead of just hucking it in the garbage can like we always did, he wanted them put in a milk crate, and he was going to write off those bottles at the every morning, and that would tell him what liquors that he needs to go get at the liquor store, so he can place an order. Not that boss ever did that to me. That boss at that bar was actually really cool to me and the other bartenders and servers. He gave us a lot of leeway, and he didn't ask questions like, why did we run out of 151 last night? I just bought that bottle 2 days ago. And then one of us bartenders has to tell him things like, they ordered a lot of Boilermakers and Flaming Dr. Peppers last night. Don't know what to tell you. But at the corporate restaurants, I'm sure it's much different level of bartending and serving, just because everything is set in a menu. You get a drink menu when you go to a corporate restaurant, and you say, or the customer will say, oh, that sounds good. And then you have that recipe either committed to memory, or if you're new, you have to look at the menu real quick and go, oh, okay, that's how you make it. And that's pretty much the way it is. You can't really come up with anything new, because the restaurant and bar, the corporate, is more likely I'm not saying all of I'm not saying the hole in the walls don't, but the corporate restaurants are more likely to have a computer. So if the computer sees you making a Long Island iced tea, therefore it expects the bottle to be short a half ounce of vodka gin rum vodka gin rum triple sec, and it will do things according to that. But if the bottle runs out too soon, then questions get asked. And I'm sure it doesn't, until it gets absolutely ridiculous about pour costs. I'm sure it's at the worst a slap on the wrist. Say, hey, watch your pouring. Because I've worked in bars. I've seen bartenders pour Long Island iced teas that you can see through. Now, when I first started bartending, I was by the book. I was exact measurements from what the book told me. To make a Long Island iced tea, half a shot each of vodka gin rum triple sec, fill with Coke and sweet and sour, serve with a lemon wedge. That's how I did it, and you couldn't see through it. But I've worked with other bartenders that have already established their customer base, and they put almost a full shot of each inside there and almost a splash of Coke and sweet and sour. And I was standing there thinking, whoa, that's a powerful drink right there. But the customers started to expect that. So it became, if I want to keep those customers happy, because, at the time, everybody that worked in the restaurant, we all shared the customers, the regulars. I mean, there were some regulars that came in specifically to see one bartender, but we all tried to do exactly the same thing so that they came in every night. But if you want to start being creative, I guess the only route right now is to go to the liquor store, buy some liquor that you're interested in, or just buy the basics, the bottom shelf stuff, and just play at home. And that's where you can end up really, making your mark, setting something up that's all your own, and have it be great. If you enjoy it, then everything's cool. But make sure that you don't have anything to do that afternoon if you plan on starting in the early in the day, because you're going to be testing a lot of drinks, and you'll pretty much be stuck at home, probably with a hangover. Because most of the time, I don't picture drinks that like tequila and beer together, or Mad Dog 2020 with anything in it being made in a bar. I really don't see that. Invented in a bar. That sort of thing has to be invented at home. Anyway, people, it is last call for alcohol. That's it for today's Wednesday quick shot episode. Like I told you, it's just a quick one and done. Let's get out of here. Special thanks to Diageo Bar Academy for sponsoring the show, and go check out their website, diageobaracademy.com. And while you can, until April 13th, you will be able to watch on demand all of the competition of the top 50 bartenders in the United States compete to go to Spain to compete in the world-class global finals. That's got to be cool. I wish I could do that. But anyway, thank you to all you listeners. Thank you for supporting the show. Couldn't do this without you guys. And remember, guys, I wish you all lots of love, lots of sex, lots of happiness, and don't take any shit from anyone. Good night.
I think I need another drink. What do you mean it's last call? I just got